evening. Good to have you with us on this edition of the Urban Debate. Viewers, tonight, the entire nation must be angry about what happened to a 19-year-old in Hathras in Uttar Pradesh. Not just the brutal crime, but the way it was dealt with for the past 2 weeks. The same old story of how, without any outrage, absolutely zero response comes from our police system in this country, especially when it comes to crimes against women. A 19-year-old was allegedly gang raped, strangulated, brutalized by 4 men. She was so badly tortured that she was left paralyzed. Allegedly gang raped, so brutally beaten up that paralyzed and abandoned in a field, left there to die. She fought. She fought for her life for 2 straight weeks. She fought to get those who had brutalized her behind bars, even gave a statement about it, named one of her attackers. Today, she succumbed to her injuries. It is up to us, collectively, viewers, as a nation, to come together and insist and outrage and demand that a fair investigation without any politics is done and justice is done to this family. Justice is done to this girl. Before I tell you the details of what happened since that brutal crime in the past 2 weeks, I want you to listen to this girl in pain, paralyzed, battling for her life, still finding the courage to name her attacker on 14th of September itself. Listen.
क्या हुआ? किसने मारा है आपको? हाँ? किसने? और अच्छा, किस बात को लेकर?
कोई बात नहीं, अपने घर से ले गए थे। फिर अब मैं ले रही थी तो अंदर ले गया मुझे और गला दबा दिया। मेरी रिश्ता जबरदस्ती करने की कोशिश की, मैंने मना करी, सोच के गला दबा दिया। बस।
क्या कोई रंजिश चल रही है?
Her family is now fighting for justice, fighting for a fair investigation. It took much outrage over the last 2 weeks for the 4 men to be arrested. The family now claims that they need protection because there is a threat to them. This is a Dalit family. The Dalit girl was allegedly gang raped and brutalized by 4 upper caste men from her village in Uttar Pradesh, in an area where caste-based violence, caste-based oppression and caste-based politics is big, is huge. Now this is what the family is demanding.
हमें यहाँ पे जो सरकार है बीजेपी की उत्तर प्रदेश में, उनमें से कोई बड़ा नेता यहाँ चाहिए। उनके द्वारा ये आश्वासन मिले कि वो हमें न्याय दिलाएंगे, उन आरोपियों को फांसी दिलाने में मदद करेंगे हमारी, और हमारे परिवार को आगे के लिए बहुत खतरा है। उन्होंने साफ साफ बोला था, जब मैं वहाँ पे बैठा था कुर्सी पे, तो उन्होंने एक बात और बोली। आते जाते जैसे बाइक पे जा रहे थे तो मास्क लगाए हुए थे, मैंने फेस नहीं देख पाया। 1-2 लोग ये भी बोल रहे थे कि अभी 1-2 को गोली मार के तब थाने में हाजिर हो जाएंगे। उन तबीयत तो उनकी शुरुआत से ही ख़राब थी। जब हमने थाने ले जाके डाला था बड़े भैया ने, तो उन्होंने वहाँ से बोल दिया था, कुछ पुलिसकर्मी थे, उन्होंने बोल दिया ये बहाने बना के लेटी हुए, इन्हें यहाँ से उठा के अस्पताल ले जाओ। तो उस टाइम हमने अपने पैसों से ऑटो बुक किया, तो वो उसने वागला हॉस्पिटल है जो हाथरस का, वहाँ ले गए। तो वहाँ से फिर उन्होंने रेफ़र कर दिया अलीगढ़ मेडिकल कॉलेज, जो वहाँ से एम्बुलेंस की व्यवस्था की गई। वहाँ से 2 पुलिस वाले गए साथ में।
अच्छा, एक बात बताइए कि अभी फ़िलहाल आप लोग में से कौन था जिसकी जो सबसे लास्ट मुलाकात किया, लास्ट में बात किया? उधर ही देख।
अभी लास्ट में उनसे कोई बात नहीं हुई। यहाँ आके उन्होंने कुछ नहीं बोला। जो भी बात हुई थी उनकी वेंटिलेटर पे जाने से पहले हमने उनसे पूछताछ की थी। वो सिर्फ यही बोल रही थी कि मतलब मैं बचूंगी नहीं। उनकी ज़ुबान एक तो बहुत ज़्यादा लड़खड़ा रही थी, उन्होंने फिर भी बोला कि मैं बचूंगी नहीं, मुझे मतलब न्याय दिलवा देना। तो हमारी बस यही मांग है कि आरोपियों को फांसी होनी चाहिए।
In fact, through the day today, apart from the Bhim Army and the Aam Aadmi Party protesting, the family itself has been at the hospital. There's been chaos all day long. Multiple police forces, paramilitary forces deployed amidst the protests and the chaos. And there were reports in between that the family said they're not even being told where is the body of the girl. Alok is joining me with more on what's happening right now. Alok, what's going on at Safdarjung?
Well, Tanvi, situation is still chaotic at Safdarjung Hospital. In fact, my video journalist will show you that what all is happening over here. In fact, these are the police personnel. You can see this is a huge number of police personnel with their anti-riot gear. And at one side, there is the family members of the girl. And also, the police is trying to pick the family members and just forcefully trying to put these family members into the vehicle that is here parked. This is the Scorpio which is parked over here in this car, which is the UP police car, in which in this car they were passive, that they are trying to pacify them to sit in this car. They have made an attempt, but that was the failed attempt, and now the pacifying process is still going on. In fact, my video judge is trying to show you, but police personnel are not allowing us to go at that side. In fact, Tanvi, family members means that the father and both the brothers of that girl who was sitting here since afternoon after the post-mortem was conducted, and since then they were not allowed and they were not informed where the body is properly. In fact, there was one convoy came out from the hospital, from inside the hospital, but the family members were completely confused whether the body has been shifted to the other place or where the body has been taken. But the police is still maintaining that the body is still at the post-mortem house. However, the family is still not aware of the fact where the body is. So this is whole the situation is. In fact, if we talk about this hospital, this is a very prominent hospital of Safdarjung, located at the South Delhi. In fact, in the afternoon, there was a huge kiosk happened on the roadside because Aam Aadmi Party, Bhim Army, and also the Congress supporters, the Congress workers came over here and they blocked the road as well. They were demanding justice for the family members. So this happened, but later after that, the police intervened and immediately removed those persons. Some of them also taken into the custody, but they were allowed to go. But as of now, the protest is still going on. Police is trying to pacify the family members to take the body, to go back to the Hathras, and do the further cremation process. But the family is still demanding two things. One is that some police officer from the government side, from the Uttar Pradesh government side should come. Some cabinet ministers should come over here. They give the assurance of speedy justice first. And the second is family wants protection because they are alleging that they are still getting threat from the accused person. So this is what the family members are saying. But as of now, what we are seeing on the ground, that a family is forcefully being removed from this place. The process is still going on because this is a COVID hospital as well. So that is also need to be understood by the protesters as well. That is what the police is saying. So definitely there are various aspects, but who is responsible for all this situation? Who is responsible for all this condition that the family has to come over here and to protest in this way? That is also need to be answered. Definitely, this is not the first case. Earlier also we have seen the similar kind of cases in Uttar Pradesh. Back to you.
Alok, I want you to also describe to our viewers who all are currently inside the hospital apart from the family. Have they managed to at least get the Bhim Army protesters and other protesters out of the hospital? Earlier in the evening, you were telling us how there are multiple police forces also inside the hospital. Take us through those details.
Yes, Tanvi, in fact, I would like to show you that these are the Delhi police personnel and also Uttar Pradesh policemen are also here. In fact, if you see, there is the banner which one of the supporters of the Bhim Army is carrying. In fact, there is the pacifying exercise is still going on. here. Some of the supporters of Bhim Army is still here. Some of the Congress supporters are also here. Congress party supporters are also here. And in fact, some of the Aam Aadmi Party also supporters here. So this is the... So these are all political parties, basically the opposition parties, they are here and they are just trying to take the mileage of this whole incident. Why we are saying that they are trying to take the mileage? Because definitely they are raising the issue of the family members, but family members are still confused at what they all have to do. In this kind of situation where the family members are demanding justice, many political parties are coming and giving their reactions, but the situation is completely chaotic at the hospital. In fact, this is not the normal view of any hospital, in fact, of the national capital. But this is the situation that has arises. As of now, the police is still trying to pacify. But what we are feeling, what we are sensing, that it is not going to normalize at least the coming 1 hour. Back to you.
All right, Alok been reporting there constantly for us. He's been on this story for several days now, and today outside that Safdarjung Hospital bringing us the latest updates. Thanks, Alok, for joining me. Now, let me just put this in perspective. While we bring out the horrific brutality of this case and tell you what happened, and I will do that because you need to know, and I will do that because we need to feel the anger. Only then will we take up this fight for a fair investigation. But I also want to tell you 5 reasons why we believe that it's the system, it's the UP police that's failed the women of this country one more time, that failed this girl and her family. Charges of gang rape were added much later. The accused were only arrested after much outrage. Just a few days ago is when the 3 of the accused were arrested. Initially, the matter wasn't even taken seriously, perhaps thought to be a family rivalry of some kind. The girl, while in a serious condition, she was strangulated. When she was being brutalized, she cut her own tongue. She was left paralyzed. And we waited till the last minute to shift her to a big hospital in Delhi. A sub-inspector has been sent to police lines for inaction, but I don't think that's enough. Because in UP and in many other parts of our country, unfortunately, the trend in the police team has become no response being the first response. No response has become the by default reaction of the police when a woman goes to complain, when a family goes to complain specifically about crimes against women, specifically when it is about a heinous crime like a rape or a gang rape. How do we change this? That's my question. Good evening to the panelists who are joining us right now. Anila Singh, National Spokesperson for the BJP. Sudhindra Bhadoria, Spokesperson for the BSP. Ghanshyam Tiwari, Spokesperson for the Samajwadi Party. Dr. Purnima Advani, Lawyer and former Chairperson of NCW. And Mr. Arvind Kumar Jain, former DGP of Uttar Pradesh. Anila Singh, case after case, and I can read out, I have at least 20 examples of recent times with me where when a complaint is being made, the woman is turned away, the family is turned away, they are mocked, they are told to compromise. Every other kind of reaction is seen, but to follow up on that complaint and to take immediate action. Why is that?
Tanvi, you are correct, because this thing has
asked also that many a times, not always, but many a times it has been observed that when a woman or a girl, and especially a person from a humble background, I can say, they go and try to get their FIR lodged. Many a times, police personnel in Thana, they don't behave properly. But it has started changing since UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath ji took power. Like police, we know it very well that many a times we see that the type of sensitivity we want from the police, we do not see that. And I'm not going to say that it was because of earlier political parties' regime or what. I think it has this outcome has come after the years and years and years of politicization of police force. When we have seen that police. How people, many a times police people, they behave in front of their political archives. But this time when Yogi Adityanath ji gave all the freedom to the police that your duty is to watch the law and order of the state, you have got that type of freedom. You have to control the crime. I mean, change is there, but it is slow because still the police, they have to come out of their set mental framework that they are the Akas and the people who come to Thana, they have to plead in front of them. But FIR lodging has increased because that type of liberty has been given by the UP Chief Minister that we have to register the FIRs. Like earlier governments, they never gave that type of liberty because Thanas, they had to show that हमारे area में crime कम है, हमारी इतनी FIR lodge नहीं हो रही है. But if we talk about crime against women, yes, crime against women, whether we talk about this regime or the earlier regime, it is very sad. And I have never seen crime against women on caste and religion line. It is attack on a gender which is being taken for granted since centuries together, I can say. And in today's date also, I observe the same thing. The formula is that you have to give more power in the hands of women. The government are doing that, whether we talk about the central government or whether we talk about the state government. I mean, these political parties, they mocked when Yogi Adityanath ji made anti-Romeo squad. They mocked when Yogi Adityanath ji said that we are going to paste the posters of those who are accused of molesting women or girls in our state. So, indeed, I mean, it is such an obnoxious incident which happened. I don't have words to express my grief. But at the same time, yes, we have to fight this battle and everybody has to come into it, whether we talk about the legal system or police administration and even the society. Because in earlier times, and this is what our Indian culture is, daughter of one person in a village used to be daughter of everybody in the village or sister. But in today's day, we see
this mindset, Anila Singh, that you are talking about, where when a woman resists, when a woman says no, it angers the attacker even more, and then he comes in and hits back with even more force. I want to read out what Fakhrul Hoda, the head of neurosurgery department of Aligarh Medical College, said. That's where the girl was first taken. The victim suffered permanent damage in the spinal cord because of fractures in the second and third vertebrae in the neck region, and that the doctors had to wait to first stabilize her before they could even operate on her. Her spinal cord was severely injured. This is what the doctor has said. Imagine, she says, I said no, and he tried to strangle me. So badly brutalized. The dupatta allegedly tied around her neck and dragged like that and strangled with that dupatta. Who does these things? And when such a horrific crime happens, what more is required for the police department to react? Mr. Jain, Mr. Arvind Kumar Jain, if I can ask you that question, what more is required? Why did we have to send one SHO to the police lines now? Why was there inaction earlier? What is this mindset that has seeped in so deeply in the police system?
SHO should have been suspended. As it was the duty of SHO to inform the senior officers about the gravity of the crime. What I have been told, the girl's mother had seen naked body of her daughter with injuries on her body. It should have been immediately reported to the SSP, to the SPRA, to CO, to lady police officers in the district, so that they should have visited the scene of crime at once. So it is basically the fault of Chandpa police station, SHO, and the beat constables, beat sub-inspector. They should be held accountable for this, and action should be taken against them. Now, I agree that all the 4 arrests have been made. Sections of 376D, 302, all these sections have been added. But initially, case was registered under Section 307 and 325 SC/ST Act. It was not registered under gang rape. Only when a girl gave a statement to the investigating officer, CO Sadabad, on 22nd September, names of 3 accused were added and sections of rape were also added. So this should have been done if suppose senior officers had visited the scene of crime, they would have realized the gravity of the situation. The girl should have been got medically examined at once, and immediate medical aid should have been provided to her. Even now, there is need for providing security to the family on permanent basis till the court case is over, because the family will be fearing the reprisals from the higher caste people. It shows the mindset of the upper caste community boys in the villages, and it's something very serious.
No, I completely agree with you, and I think honestly, even sending an SHO to the police lines for me is just a sham action unless stricter action is taken. Case after case, Mr. Sudhindra Bhadoria, case after case, what we see is that the police goes unpunished for their inaction. No response is their first response, and that outrage may result into finally a case getting filed, and then the numbers will show that yes, a case was filed, but after what? Why doesn't the police react in the first go?
I think this is a very pathetic situation where
AC chala nahi chala?
pass the buck on the other person, and the government is not willing to take the responsibility. I don't want to politicize this issue, but somebody has to take the responsibility, and those in power should take the responsibility, because they have been creating groups like the Romeo group, some other group. They are saying that we will be able to control the crime. Then we have seen over the years, particularly since the BJP has come to power, I must say there is a mindset, the mindset of the Manuvadi forces and the feudal forces. They are reinforcing these values, and as a consequence of the reinforcement of these traditional values, I remember there is a panelist here who was saying earlier on the television that this had happened earlier. I want to know when the Nirbhaya case happened. When the Nirbhaya case happened, same Sushma Swaraj from the Bharatiya Janata Party made such a hue and cry in the parliament that they should be hanged, they should be punished. And today, the chief minister has not even issued a statement. Look at the kind of desensitized government that we are having in Uttar Pradesh, where they are not even the head of the government is not reacting on a situation like this. It is a very shameful thing. I think this family of this girl needs to be consoled, supported, and those guilty, they should be taken to task, and the kind of punishment which was given in the Nirbhaya case, similar punishment, even much more tougher punishment should be given, and a case should be made out in the country against these people.
So I agree with you, a case should be made out, but the point is that, we did it with Nirbhaya, we've raised the case, instance so many other times. But what do? I believe, apart from ensuring that justice is done and those 4 men are, punished for their horrific, brutal deed, I feel there needs to be action for the police who doesn't act on time and then fails to take care of the family. Is today standing outside the hospital, figuring out ways of getting the family out of the hospital and packing them off to Hathras. Is today figuring out what to do with the body so that it doesn't become a big issue. Is today saying that no, we didn't do anything wrong, we did all the action on time, we took all the action on time, we filed the FIR, we've arrested them, but still knows something went wrong, which is why an SHO was sent to the police lines. I want to know what action can be taken against the police in this case, because Ghanshyam Tiwari, governments have come and gone in Uttar Pradesh, but none of the governments have been able to fix this problem.
Tanvi, there are 3 things that I want to speak about. One is just the bizarre nature of this case, under the Adityanath administration. There is a statement in Bhaskar News that speaks about the father's version, who says, ये लोग गांव के ठाकुर हैं, ये लोग मेरी बेटी से दरिंदगी करने से पहले मेरे पिता से भी मारपीट कर चुके हैं, उनकी उंगलियां तक काट दी थी। पुलिस ने पहले सिर्फ हत्या का मामला दर्ज किया, एक व्यक्ति को अभियुक्त बनाया, 10 दिन तक कोई गिरफ्तारी नहीं की, पीड़िता का बयान लेने भी 5 दिन बाद पहुंची। This is the statement of the father. The statement of the mother is published in News Laundry in detail, where she speaks about how she found the poor girl unconscious, without clothes, bleeding at various parts of the body. The family took, and you showed that, the family took the girl to the police station, and what is shocking is that the police says that the girl is feigning. This is the girl who had multiple fractures, taken probably on a bike or an auto to a police station, and instead of empathizing with the girl and immediately acting, the police is saying that the girl is feigning. She has been taken by auto to a hospital, from there to a more bigger hospital, and eventually coming to Safdarjung, where the family had to fight for the bed. In these 2 weeks, not one person from Uttar Pradesh government has attended, supported, or enabled anything for the girl or for her family. This is complete failure, and this is not just one case. The reason, yes, we can talk about how things failed in the previous government, but when there is a government who wants to project continuously that Adityanath is a strong chief minister, in just last 5 weeks, we can find cases in Lakhimpur Kheri, rapes in buses on expressway, in Meerut, and various in Lucknow, various parts of Uttar Pradesh. This government just does not care and does not listen as long as its media story is intact. As far as the system is concerned, this government came to infamy because of the way they defended Kuldeep Sengar and the way they continue to defend Chinmayanand. So clearly this government doesn't have a case with respect to saving the women, or even trying to build an administration that save the women and daughters of this country. What needs to be done? What needs to be done is clearly every one of us have to be vigilant. Now that we know that there is a government in Uttar Pradesh that runs Jangal Raj, is not going to take any responsibility in preventing the crime, in registering the crime, and in providing support to the family. Every one of us, including opposition, including media, and including civil society, have to be on our feet, and we have to build a system that reassures our daughters and our wives and sisters and mothers that, look, we are building a safe country for you. We speak about Beti Padhao, Beti Bachao. What will you do when you communicate every day from this instance that sends a chill in everyone's spine that this is not a safe country for our women? And what will you do when when Smriti Irani, the women minister in this country, chooses to peddle any random tweet but is not going to react on this? What will you do when the UP minister for this will not react on this? They are leaders chosen to represent people. If they sleep on the job just to save their chair and are not going to react, the chief minister is not going to react. Their first reaction at the chief minister level and his advisor level was, this is fake news. This is how they reacted when the news broke out. Every day media has, from newspaper to television, has presented the story, and they slept till the girl died, and now they are saying that there was no rape. They're creating new stories. This government is known for sleeping at the wheel, and then when things go out of the control, they do damage control by ensuring.
I want to. Yes, you raised a point that Ghanshyam must be highlighted constantly for the last 2 weeks. For every single time a query was raised about it, the narrative that was being peddled from the other side was, there isn't much in this case. There isn't much in this case. Even if the police believed, which they have no right to without investigation, that there was no case here, an investigation had to be done. A family's complaint had to be taken seriously. A paralyzed girl's statement, video, naming people had to be taken seriously. A life has been lost. We didn't even take it seriously enough to try and save her. We didn't. Anila Singh, there is a failure at every step here. Not every case needs to be responded to only after outrage, Anila Singh.
I agree with you. After, some audacious crime is committed and then so much of hue and cry. I mean, nothing can, the person on whom such brutality happens is not going to be removed, or if that person, dies, she can't be, given life back. So you are absolutely correct. When a crime happens and after that you and cry, does it make any difference? It does make a difference. I would say that at least, whole of the society and other organizations and institutes, they come together. And I have always stood very strongly whenever I have talked on crime against women that let us not politicize it. Let us not divide the crime on gender, on caste and religion lines. But yes, as I mentioned earlier, that indeed, if you talk about the police system, there has to be overhaul, I can say, because there is a set mindset as earlier governments, they had politicized the police walas. We have seen that, we have seen the examples like dusting off dust from the shoes of the politicians.
No, Anila Singh, I'm sorry. I will empathize with you when you say and agree with you when you say you feel for this case, but I will not buy this argument now. It's been so long since your government came to power. Every single time the excuse cannot be because the police has been so badly destroyed by the previous government that we're not able to bring about any change. At some point we have to figure out a way to change it. If we can make tall claims about killing criminals, putting them behind bars, hardened criminals, killing them in encounters or jailing them, why are we not able to get this one thing under control? We can't then start blaming the previous government anymore. Yes, there has been a problem. Yes, the SP government didn't, and unabated crime went on even during that time. But they were kicked out by the people for that reason. So that excuse, how long will you use that excuse? Dr. Purnima Advani, may I just go across to Dr. Advani? She is patiently waited by and get her comments as well. Dr. Advani, there is a systemic problem here. How do we fix that problem? The no response default mode of the police in our country.
The crime of rape has constantly been a systemic problem and needs to be addressed at the very root. You see, every time there is a case which occurs, the dialogue, the debate, the urban debate, the rural debate, they all come into the picture. But the systemic problem continues to endure. Now here, the naked body of the girl is taken by the mother. There are serious injuries. The second and third cervical vertebrae have been fractured. No doctor has been called. Why? No FIR has been filed. Why? And everybody knows that medical examination of a rape case must be done in the first 6 hours in order to get the crucial forensic evidence that is required. How far is the forensic laboratory from Hathras? One needs to check that. I have seen places where in the entire case, in the entire state, there is not a single forensic laboratory. How can that be tolerated? These are things which we must look into. It's not today. Take from the time of Mathura rape case, where the girl was raped inside the police officer's chambers. Take the case where I have picked up from Lakhimpur a 3-month-old child from the hospital who was raped. We took her to Delhi. She stayed in my house for 6 months and we got her medically treated. Her internal organs had completely ruptured. Her life is gone. What can you do? But the systemic problem still endures. It is extremely important. You see, suspension of one police officer must occur, but that's not only the point. I had said earlier, and I keep repeating it, these police officers know the language of their annual confidential reports, where their promotions are blocked. Put in a clause in that annual confidential report. How gender sensitive is that officer? What has that officer done to promote gender justice? What has that officer done to promote caste justice? And make his promotions based on that. Unless such very fundamental changes are brought in, these systemic malaise, these systemic pathologies will continue to endure. And every time there will be a debate, and again there will be empathy, sympathies coming to the fore, but the life of the girl is lost. This is very, very important. And if you see now, what's the road ahead? We haven't collected the forensic investigation reports properly. Till now, the people are bothered about parents are here, parents are there. What are the statements? But where is the evidence collection of medical, the medical evidence being collected? Tomorrow, when this matter is going to be argued in the court is going to say we have to prove the case beyond reasonable doubt. At that time, will we have adequate evidence to bring before this court? And most importantly also, such cases I've always heard should be put on fast track, speed up. But ultimately, if you look into and study the number of years that the case is taking, right from the stage of investigation up to its journey in the Supreme Court, there's 10 years that is lost. Today, the debate is all round. People keep remembering Nirbhaya. How many Nirbhayas have happened? Nobody, public memory does not recall the other Nirbhayas which have happened. Several of them. Why? Because by the time the case has its final decision in the Supreme Court, it is so very diluted. So many years have passed by. Public memory gets so diluted that the strength of the case is lost. I've oftentimes said that these cases must be put on a specific fast track, and we must have some way of bringing in the decisions at the earliest point of time. Any dilution in a rape case, any politicization of a rape case is strongly condemned. We cannot put this into bylanes to say this has happened, that has happened in this year, that year, this year. It's important today, what are we doing and how do we now move ahead? It's important what is the fundamental changes that we are bringing into the entire system. It's important how we are strengthening our forensic laboratories. It is important what punishment we are giving to the police officer who has neglected to take action, and bring out that punishment before the public eye so that the police should not have the guts to ignore any gender-related case. These are very crucial things that are required to be done and that need to be done without any delay. Any delay is going to dilute justice.
May I take that point up, Dr. Advani, and say good evening to Mr. V.N. Rai, former DGP of Uttar Pradesh. Mr. Rai, the first step needs to be to fix the system. Yes, we fight tonight for justice. We ensure we fight for those who brutalized her, attacked her, murdered her, allegedly gang raped her, to be put behind bars. But we need to bring about some accountability, Mr. Rai. In how many cases, after the cops are initially suspended, is there ever any action against them beyond that?
Are you asking something from me? Hello?
Yes, Mr. V.N. Rai, the question to you.
Pardon? I just could not hear. I am sorry, I could not hear.
Mr. Rai, I am asking you, how do we ensure the accountability of the police and the policemen who don't take action when the complaint is first filed?
Although it is very difficult, unless there are very deep inbuilt provisions, I don't think, personally I feel that it is simply impossible to punish the delinquents. So some very deep-rooted inbuilt provisions have to be made. Not only for police, in this case, doctors also. You see the behavior of two hospitals, Aligarh and Delhi. Their behavior was highly insensitive. You feel that they were not sensitive to the suffering of the victim. So some inbuilt provisions are needed.
Okay, Mr. Rai, Mr. Bhadoria, if I can come to you on that. Mr. Bhadoria, the fact that unabated crime happens against women is not new. What is problematic is the fact that we are not able to deal with these cases. Every time a complaint is made, everything is done from blaming the girl and her family to calling it a fake case, to trying to strike a compromise, to simply just burying the file. Everything is done to not investigate. How do we fix that problem?
Well, that needs to be fixed, and that can be fixed only by the people who are in power. But there is a larger question which has been addressed by the earlier chairperson of the Women's Commission. And that is that we have a system and we have a value system also. And I want to reiterate this, that unless you acknowledge that there are inbuilt injustices in our system, and all the time talking about the great civilization that we are, you are sitting in Bombay. It is the same Baba Sahib Bhimrao Ambedkar in Maharashtra who was denied a glass of water in the school. It was the same Savitribai Phule on whom the cow dung was flung when she wanted to teach the girl children. Unless we acknowledge that there are inbuilt injustices in our system, and these are civilizational injustices, and they need to be corrected. And those people who are heading the systems today, somehow they want to prove that the system that existed earlier, the values of the past are the great values, and they are being reinforced. And therefore, the feudal forces, the forces with those kind of mindset, the Manuwalis, which I said, are taking over. They are ruling the roost, and that is why from Kuldeep Sengar to Lakhimpur Kheri, Meerut, I can go on to each district of Uttar Pradesh where these things have happened. I am not denying that it has not happened in the past, but you are there in power. We were there in power, we were removed because some of the mistakes that we made. Samajwadi Party was there. Mulayam Singh made a wrong statement that bachche hain to galti ho jaye. Their government fell. But today you are responsible, and the responsibility will be fixed on you. You cannot deny it.
Yes, no, I completely agree with you. And I want to bring out some more instances why I am harping on this point again and again, and I will continue to do so. In May 2017, in Aligarh, a woman alleged rape by her husband's friend. The response of the police was allegedly to comment on her beauty. It took 181 days of fighting for that FIR to be filed. In March 2017 in Amroha, a woman alleged a man from her neighborhood raped her. The police's reaction was to force her to marry him. It took 111 days for that FIR on that complaint to be filed. And the list goes on. In June 2019 in Lucknow, a woman alleged rape in a farm. The police said, "You are poor and you are filing a false complaint." She was sent back home. In December 2017, woman claimed she was raped by her brother-in-law. The police said she is filing this complaint for money and took 117 days to take action in that case. Woman alleged villagers gang raped her. The police accused her father of soliciting and took 40 days to file the FIR. This is what I am talking about. Then to say, Ghanshyam Tiwari, that we are filing more number of FIRs doesn't help. When it takes days of protest, running around by the family, communities coming together, outraging, media covering the event for you to file the FIR.
Well, Tanvi, as I said before, I have absolutely no faith where the women minister Smriti Irani will not stand up, Swati Singh will not stand up, Uttar Pradesh Police and Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister. You talk about sensitivity, a chief minister who makes a statement on CA protesters, इन लोगों ने अपनी बहू बेटियों को चौराहे पर प्रोटेस्ट करने के लिए भेज दिया है, would he be sensitive? They defended Chinmayanand and Sengar. So that aside, that's a political point. The bigger point is that this is a matter of national calamity and national shame. Every one of us now fear for the girls and women around us who we care for. And as a result, it is important that every such case that you mentioned about, almost like a national goal, it has to be taken. If there was a government that truly cared about the stature and esteem of India, in India and abroad, it will create a national mission that every case of crime against women will be taken seriously. Post that incident, there will be a review that did our system respond with empathy and urgency that is required, and an index will be maintained. It will be done at a district level, at a state level, and a national level. We have to systematically track the progress or lack of it that happens in response to crime against women. That is the only way a systemic transformation can happen. And at the same time, we have to also create an index of knowledge and responsibility that public officials, be it in hospitals or be it in police station, carry when they deal with these crimes. Finally, every one of us has to be sensitized on how they can bring urgency to this public matter. The only way India will move past this blot on our civilization of today, that we are a country that is no more safe for women, where the system demoralizes women who raise voice against injustice done to them, is by tracking our progress in a transparent manner. But that requires a leadership. If the women minister like Smriti Irani, who's been a multiple time member of parliament, has been a minister multiple times, does not demonstrate the courage to stand up and speak up, I don't expect this government to show the nationalistic pride and take a road ahead for the country.
Anila Singh, would you want to comment on that?
See, Tanvi, I have to say one thing here. I heard Mr. Tiwari, I heard Mr. Bhadoria, and they both were, they were giving so many suggestions and advices, and they were accusing present sitting government in Uttar Pradesh. I just have a request that if you have got some sort of formula by which crime against women stops in our country, I will be the first person to advocate it. I will be the first person from Uttar Pradesh to stand with you guys and raise my voice that this formula should be implemented in Uttar Pradesh so crime against women stops. So it is very easy to sit here and start preaching that this should be done, that should be done. This present government is hopeless. The police, system is totally failed. This should be done.
I can give you the solution.
I can say.
Anila Singh, I will give you a solution. Leave Ghanshyam Tiwari and Mr. Bhadoria. They are both admitting their governments failed, which is why they were kicked out. You were chosen. But if you don't know how to solve the problem, let me tell you, here is what needs to be done in this case to start with, to set an example. At every stage, the system failed the girl and the family. The family went looking for her. Imagine the plight of the mother who saw her slippers in the fields, then saw some fields, part of the field that was destroyed. Imagine what she would have gone through as she walked towards that stop and that place, and then found her daughter lying in that condition, picked her up, held her dead body, limp body at that time, completely paralyzed, and took her to a hospital. Imagine the plight of the family who had to protest, who had to gather their community in Hathras to protest, to force them to take the girl to another hospital. And then she was taken to Aligarh. Imagine the family's plight who had to protest. Series of news reports had to be published while the police kept feeding this narrative that no, there is nothing wrong here. We are doing our job. Imagine the fact where they had to say this is a rape and a gang rape. Before that, police wouldn't even look into that aspect. And at every stage, you know then which official has failed in doing his job. Sack them, book them, put them behind bars. Sack them. Don't send them to the police lines. Start with that, Anila Singh. Start somewhere and not with a Romeo-Juliet squad. Start by setting an example who are within the system and who have failed us. And then we will see whether or not things begin to change. Give me 5 examples the next time you come, please. 5 examples of action taken against policemen who didn't do their job in cases of crime against women. Just 5 examples. There have been over 3,000 to 4,000 rape FIRs filed in Uttar Pradesh every year. Give me 5 examples in the last 4 years where action has been taken against policemen for not doing their job. Dr. Advani, can you add, can you suggest another step that any government can right now take to at least start the cleanup process?
I think one strong action by the government in a case that spreads the deterrent effect to all those who are in service, to say that this government is not going to accept any lackadaisical attitude. We are serious that crimes against women are going to have a zero tolerance. That is a message that should go out, even with this case. Irrespective of what has happened, we can't bring those days back. But today and now, the message must be loud and clear. Let that, of course, suspension is a must. I mean, that goes without reiterating it. But that police officers, investigation officers, those who are responsible for law enforcement are going to be judged by certain parameters. And one of those parameters has to be how gender sensitive or what has that person done to ensure gender justice. Enough of sabotaging women. That's not going to be permitted. And therefore, it's extremely crucial that this message must go without connecting it to any politics. It has to go just from a gender neutral platform, from a platform which says we are concerned about women. We are not going to look back into the past or anything. Let us look into the future from today and now, and let's put our systems in order. There is a police, the police academy in Lucknow. There are gender sensitization courses. We have conducted them. A course cannot do anything. Academics per se cannot do it. As I always say, the same commissions, the same regulations, the same rules, the same tribunals. It's individuals who matter. So it is that passion in the individual who are today governing, that has to come to the fore. And I hope it does. And it brings about a rampant change that is required. But this is a malaise of decades in the past. I refer to the Mathura case. It has gone on much before that. Yeah. And we have gone on seeing how earlier, I mean, when I was doing my doctorate in criminal wrongs against women, I had done this research of every rape case from 1960 till 1995. And they used to take 25 years. Now, things are faster, but it still takes 8 to 10 years. Can you believe in the last 2 months of this, last 6 months of COVID, how technology has advanced so much? Today, without any person coming from your television studio, I'm here giving you an interview. This is the technological advancement that could happen when it was required to happen. What has happened to rape cases? Why can't technological advancements within investigation get to the fore? Budget allocation is a must for them. Right from there, unless you allocate the required budget, the budget being used for the purpose for which it is being allocated, complete highest supervision to ensure that these things are put into place, the systems are in order, and public announcements of what is happening. I don't want to divert the subject, but it is just as lethargic and passive as having a dowry prohibition officer, and not one person knows who the person is. Rampant marriages go on and nobody knows. Similarly, it's extremely crucial. Who is the women protection officer? Who is in charge of the women's desk? Where is that helpline? Which is a number to be contacted? Publicize it. Don't wait for the next rape to happen in a bus or in a car or anywhere, and then people again get up. It's important to push this into public domain.
Yes, it is. It is, absolutely. Thank you so much for that. And as I thank all of our panelists for joining us right now, I do urge every single guest and viewer tonight to please demand accountability, demand a change. Unless and until we outrage about the right cause, there will not be any change. I will give you 2 more examples because this is not a one-off incident. Do you know that in December 2017 in Lucknow, when a girl went and complained against a family member of raping her, the policeman turned around and told her, "तुम पैसे के लिए ये कर रही हो, false case लगा रही हो." It took 117 days. For 117 days, that woman fought just to get an FIR filed. In December 2017, in Jaunpur itself, the police instead accused the father of soliciting his daughter. When he went to file complaint and he went day after day after day, the police SHO of that police station said, तुम फिर आ गए, आप अपनी बेटी से धंधा करा रहे थे पहले, अब यहाँ आके कंप्लेंट लिखवा रहे हो. It took over 40 days for that family and a lot of outrage, including us picking up the story, for some action to be taken. Things will only change when we begin to act against the no response police force of our country. Let's at least start with that. Thank you for joining us on this debate.